Mungu ibariki Afrika, wabariki viongozi wake, hekima, umoja na amani. Hizi ni ngao zetu Afrika na watu wake. Ibariki Afrika, ibariki Afrika, tubariki watoto wa Afrika. Mungu ibariki.
Are you an engineer who would like to master basic engineering and scientific mathematics for the ordinary diploma? Or have you ever been falling in love with mathematics in different levels of your learning process, but you have never understood it? Or have you ever been loving mathematics before you reached or before you arrived at the ordinary diploma level, but unfortunately once you've arrived at ordinary diploma level, then you found accidentally you had mathematics? So the answer of all, within few minutes, you will get the answer of some of these questions that I've asked you, or you will get even answers of some other questions that I didn't mention. How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? I'm very happy to have you today, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the national, international, and family students of ordinary diploma level. My name is Olenjolai Moko TAYAI Losingo. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I thank God by His own grace who has made me in His own image and likeness, and this is the gift to the Tanzania. And I thank God who have built in me His gift of teaching. And I thank God who have built in me the gift of engineering. And I thank God who have built in me the gift of mathematics. So in this program, I will be standing in three positions. I will be standing as the mathematician, I will be standing as an engineer, I will be standing as a teacher. Wonderful. So I'll be combining those three positions and expect miracles to happen in your mind. And you know the miracles that you have to expect? You get knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to solve real-life problems. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the national, international. I am a Tanzanian. I'll be using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania, as the name implies, of our online institution. This is our national flag. All the international students and national international viewers, you're welcome into our beautiful country. So let's take this opportunity to welcome you into our online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I would like to welcome you into our official YouTube channel that's called the Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai. So you can have so many questions, but one of the common questions that you have to ask yourself, what vision do we have? Why are you studying ordinary diploma program? Where are you going in your life? What are you intending? What real life engineering problems would you like to solve? What real life scientific problems that would you like to solve in order for you to have a meaning of your educational time? So all of those questions should be circulating in your mindset every day, every night. So that's the questions, because the Bible says in the book of Proverbs 29, chapter 29, verse 18, where there is no vision, people perish. If you don't have vision, we perish. If you don't have vision, as my students, my viewer, you will perish. So, what vision do we have in Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai? Well, we have an assignment we have been given by the founder of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket, just in square bracket Olenjolai. And this is an assignment that we have. We have a responsibility to teach, to train, to incubate, to mentor, to lead, to guide ordinary diploma students on how they can extract knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the classroom instructions, combining with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that you are going to teach them and other teachers will teach them to extract it from the Word of God in order to solve real-life engineering and scientific problem if these students are doing ordinary diploma in engineering and science. So that's the vision that we have. So the main objective of online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania is not to teach students in order to pass exam or in order to have certificate. No. The main objective is to see our students think differently on how to take the classroom instruction, combining with the spiritual knowledge, understanding, and wisdom to solve real-life problems. That's the main objective that we have. I know what I'm telling you, it might seem difficult. Yeah, even myself in my own life, because I'm a good example of what I'm telling you, because I'm living in this vision that I'm sharing to you. When I heard for the first time for more than 6 years from now, I thought it is impossible. But I thank God by His own grace, He has taken me from state to state. Up to this moment, I would like to declare it's possible to solve real-life problems by using the classroom instruction, the spiritual instruction, and also the intelligence or the skill, the natural gift. It's possible. And one of them, so you can ask me, what real-life problems are you solving? One of them is this one. I'm teaching now ordinary diploma students in the national level, in the institution level, in the college level, in university level, and also in the continental level and the worldwide. Okay, so that is our vision, and also even yourself, because you are part of this, you have to expect it that you should have a strong, or should have a good and excellent focus. That's the question that you have. Okay, so I would like to welcome all our new and all the students into the departments of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. The module of the course of the day is called trigonometry, vectors, and complex numbers. So that's the name of the module or the course. And I'll be using the curriculums of NATE, National Council for Technical Education. I dedicate these contents to the first or second year ordinary diploma students in engineering. These are abbreviations of ordinary diploma in engineering. So I just forgot here OD. So ODE and G, ordinary diploma in engineering, and /OT, ordinary diploma in scientific in science. So in short, we call it NTA level 4 or NTA level 5. And this is chapter 2 called vectors. So we have lecture 6, and this lecture 6 is called the properties of dot product of two vectors, Okay, that is lecture 6. Okay, so I know among you, some of the students have been taking my lecture or have registered themselves into our online institution through our official YouTube channel, but others, it's our first time. So I would like to welcome all the newcomers into our fantastic online diploma institution. You're warmly welcome. Feel comfortable. Get prepared to enjoy the beauty of engineering, mathematics, and science and technology in Odeng. So let me navigate. So if you are a registered student, you can listen these instructions in order to help your friends, your bestie friends and friends, in order for them to join and navigate easily to take advantage. So these are few steps of registration. The good information that our registrations is free, and it's only one lifetime registration. So you do the permanent registration, no need to do frequently registration. So registration to ODPITO. So ODPITO, it's abbreviations of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai. So the first step, we ask you to create or open a new email. Okay, at the first step. The second step, we ask you to sign in YouTube. Sign in YouTube by what? By your email. Sign in YouTube by your email. So we ask your username and your password. The third step, if you have an email, no need to open a new email. You just skip the first step, go into the second step, sign in. You'll see the sign in buttons when you open YouTube applications, either by using mobile device or computer. You see sign in buttons. If you click, you'll be prompted to fill your username and your password. Then the second step, we ask you to do what? To search what? To search Olpito. Olpito where? In YouTube. Search Olpito in YouTube. So that is, so once you search, you'll see a welcoming to poster, which is a round button, which is our national flag. So Tanzania national flag. Beside it, you will see the name of our channel, Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania. In square bracket, don't write Olpito, it's not there. These are abbreviations of write online, just copy and paste our official YouTube name. So write Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania, in square bracket, Olenjolai. Then you'll see the number of videos that we made them public right now. You see the number of subscribers. What the meanings of subscribers? These are the registered students or registered viewer. So when you subscribe yourself, you will be added in the list. It's just like in the normal schools when you are reporting your first week. Will be in most schools or most institutions, the first week and second week will be registration week. Then the first step, we ask you to click the round button. So you see the round button. So click the round button. Whether in the mobile phone, you'll see it. When I say that it is a flag, means Tanzania national flag. So click this one. Once you click, now wow, the window for the Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania square bracket Olenjolai will be open, and now you're already in our online school. You're only welcome. Happy to have you. Keep enjoying. So then you will see what? You will see so many pieces of information, but I ask you to concentrate on homes. You see videos. So don't continue the next step until you see this horizontal toolbar. Again, another text is playlisting. Then we have community, we have channel, then we have what? About. Okay? So number 5. Ask you to what? Click what? So click the button of subscribe. Click the button of subscribe. So this is subscribe. So once you click, before you click this subscribe, the background is ready, the text is white. Once you click it, then the text will change from subscribing to subscribing. Then the icon of the bell will appear. Click that icon, you'll see 3 options. We ask you to choose the options of all. That means that we receive all notifications from the YouTube community about our new brand or new products that we are distributing worldwide. So why should you subscribe? Very important question. The aim for you to subscribe is in order to get information when we add a new video. For example, I'm teaching lecture 6. In Vector, I will teach you more than 6 lectures. So when I will publish lecture, say if you register yourself today by subscribing, when I will add lecture 7 and you'll be online or you are online, you'll get notification that Olenjolai has added lecture 7 in his official YouTube channel of Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai. So congratulations for subscribing. Even myself, I'm a very good subscriber of different YouTube channel. Even my own channels also, I'm a part of student. Okay. So the 6th step. So from there you have already registered. You just subscribe once. Okay. Unless you change the email, then you'll be asked to subscribe once again. So subscribe once. So if you come back later tomorrow, and you have to make sure that you will be consistent because our contents is distributed worldwide through the internet. We don't have any physical institution. The 6th step for you to enjoy our well-organized material, then we used to create playlisting of each topic. So for example, for this one, we have a playlist which is called the vectors. So when you click playlist, then search the playlist written vectors, you'll find from lecture 0, in most cases that we start from lecture 00 to the last lecture, to the last lecture of vector. So every topic, so even we have created a playlist for trigonometry, playlist for the complex number. Then the seventh step and the last one, how can you share this video link? So we say that you check the icon written share below this video here, especially on right hand side. Then once you click it, you'll be given the link of the video link to share this video link to other ordinary diploma, engineering or science students through what? Via social media. So when you say social media, you have so many, millions of them, or it means that in tens of them. You have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, you have Telegram, you have Instagram, etc., etc. So right now, thank you for taking your time to navigate with me. Let us go into today's session. So let me do the quick review of what we taught you in lecture. Quick review. Quick review of lecture. Quick review of lecture 5. So in lecture 5, we taught you all about dot product. Say with me, dot product. Dot product is a technique of multiplying vectors. So dot product of two vectors at the title. So we say if you have a vector A, then we dot with vector B in such a way that, for example, given that vector A is equal to what? Let's say x1, comma, x2, comma, or let's say that, okay. So you have vector A is equal to what? Yeah, so let's say it is x1, comma, x2, comma, x3. Then suppose that we have vector B, which is possibly it is what? y1, comma, y2, comma, y3. So we say that vector A dot vector B, this is equal to what? Is equal to x1, comma, x2, comma, x3. Then dot what? Dot y1, comma, y2, comma, y3. So if you do remember that we say this dot product is equal to what? So you take x1 dot what? Dot y1. So it will be x1, y1 plus x2, y2 plus what? x3, y3. Okay, so this is what we taught you. Again, we taught you the dot product of directional vectors. We say if you take I, you dot with I, the answer is 1. But if you take I, you dot with J, the answer is what? Is 0. Remember that I is 1, 0, 0. J, we say that this is 0, 1, 0. Alright? So that's the concept. But again, we taught you the formula, the polar form of dot product of two vectors. For example, if you have the vector A, we dot use vector B, this is equal to what? This is equal to magnitude of vector A, then times magnitude of vector B, multiplied by cosine of angle theta. Okay? Again, in this formula, we can use the concept of dot product to find the angle made between two vectors. So angle theta will be equal to cos inverse of what? Cos inverse of A dot B divided by magnitude of vector A times magnitude of vector B. So in case you want to get too much details about lecture 5, you can access it in our official YouTube channel called Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania in square bracket Olenjolai in our playlist of vectors. Okay, you'll find it. So let us go into the today's session. So today I'm going to teach you about properties of dotting product. So we say that dot product of two vectors have some important properties that simplify its computation. So I have found 5 properties of dot product. The first property is, we can say that the property of dotting the same vector. So you take the same vector, you dot with the same vector. What property are we going to have? For example, so let vector A, we dot with vector A. The answer is equal to what? Is equal to absolute of vector A squared. That's the property. Absolute of vector A what? Square. So even if that the vector is B, so if you have vector B dot vector B, the response is equal to absolute of vector B squared. That's the first property. Second property. The second property, we say that it's commutative property. Commutative property. Or commutative property. We taught you this in set. So the commutative property, we say that A dot B, this is equal to B dot A. If you take vector A dot vector B, is equal to vector B dot vector A. Okay? Here it is, number 3. Okay, so the third property, we say that what if we have a scalar multiplied by, so before there's a property say that let K to be scalar quantity. Scalar quantity, it's not a vector quantity. So here you get the third property. What if we take scalar quantity K multiplied by vector A, and then we dot with another vector which does not have a scalar quantity? Okay? So how can you simplify these computations or this expression? This is equal to what? We can take scalar quantity K out, then we remain with vector A dot vector B. That's the property. So the left-hand side, the expressions on the left-hand side is equal to expressions of right-hand side. These properties are very important. We're gonna need to use them in different scenarios of learning vector. Okay, if you have any question about lecture 6, my dear student, I love questions and I love to interact with all my students worldwide. Okay, especially my students who are studying ordinary diploma at the Dar es Salaam Institute of Technology or DIT. Ask your questions in the comment section below there. Okay, so the first property, we say that it's so it is, what if we take a vector, we dot with 0? Do you know what does it mean? For example, if vector A is equal to 2i minus j, so you want to take A dot 0. So you take 2i minus j, then dot 0. Okay? So dot 0, so 0i maybe plus 0j. So 0 times 0, 0 times 2, it is 0. Then 0 times 0, it's 0. So it means that A dot 0, which is equal to what? 0 dot A, the answer is equal to 0. We taught you this concept in logic, and also we taught you these concepts in set. The fifth property, which is the last, okay, it's the second from the last one, Okay, the sixth property. However, that dot product has another property that we call perpendicular. So the fifth property is what? Is this we call distributive property. So it means distributive property. Distributive property. So distributive property, how does it state? We have vector A dot what? Vector B dot vector C. Is it dot or plus? Plus. So you have so suppose we have three vectors, vector A, vector B, and vector C. So we add two vectors. Suppose we are adding B plus C, or we take vector B plus vector C, then we want to dot with vector A. So for this case, we say that because it's distributive property, listen careful. Here, this expression, whenever you find any problem of this shape, then you take vector A dot the next vector is B. Okay, you can close the bracket itself plus this one. So we took vector A, we open the bracket, we dot vector B plus. Then we take vector A outside of the bracket, we dot with the next vector, which is vector C. That is what we call distributive property. Distributive what? Distributive property. Distributive property. So, my dear students, you can pause the video and just copy those 7 steps in order for you to follow them when you want to have somebody who wants to register in our online platform. Okay, that is about distributive property. So let us see, before even I teach you about perpendicular, the concept of perpendicular, let me give you one example which will show the use of this property. This is example 11, my dear student. Its concept. So the question states that find the angle find the angle between what? Find the angle between vectors A and D, vector B. Vector A and vector B, given that vector absolute of vector A is equal to what? Is equal to 3. Then absolute of vector B is equal to 8. And what? And absolute of vector A minus vector B is equal to 7. Find the angle between vectors A and B, given that magnitude of vector A is 3, magnitude of vector B is 8, and the absolute of vector A minus B is what? Is 7. So you can, in order for you to solve this question successful, you have to remember some properties of what? Of vector. Solution. Find the angle between the vectors. So we have to find out the angle between the vectors A and B. Given that magnitude of vector A is 3, magnitude of vector B is 8, and magnitude of vector A minus B is 7. So the first step, we say that simplify simplify what? Simplify the given equation. Magnitude of vector A minus vector B, because this is not in simplified form, is equal to 7. How do we simplify? Remember that magnitude of a vector, for example, we say that is equal to what? Is equal to plus or minus, we say that plus or minus what? A vector. Absolute, the meaning of absolute. So plus or minus what? A vector. So magnitude of vector A, this is equal to what again? So magnitude of vector A is equal to, because we taught us one of the properties there. So magnitude of vector A is equal to what? Magnitude of vector A is equal to plus or minus A. Yeah. So plus or minus what? A. So for example, if you're being given, means that the way that, remember that the magnitude has very close relationship with radical sign or square root. Okay? So what do you say? So you say that here we have our expression, absolute of vector A minus vector B, this is equal to 7. So how can you simplify? Let us square both sides. So let us square the left hand side and let me square the right hand side. Okay? Once we square, you have to be careful. You have to be careful when you are squaring. So once we square, on left hand side, we are going to have what? Magnitude vector A minus vector B, then times what? Magnitude vector A minus vector B. This is equal to 7 times 7 is 49. Okay? So this is just like a multiplication. So magnitude vector A times magnitude vector B is equal to 49. So this is just like when you have what? A minus B times what? Times, let's say, A minus B. So you can open the bracket. That's the process we are going right now. So how we can open the bracket there? We take vector A times vector A, which is dot. So it will be vector A dot vector A. Okay, so you can have this one. Then here we have minus vector A dot vector B. Okay, then we say what? So we say minus. Then here we have minus what? Vector B dot vector A. Okay, then we have what? We have plus, because minus, so we have plus of vector B dot vector B. Because negative vector B times negative vector B, the response is positive. So we took A, vector A dot vector A, is this one, minus vector A dot vector B. Okay, so vector A dot negative vector B, that's why we have minus here. Then we have finished it for A dot this and A dot this one. Then you have minus here, minus B, so negative vector B dot vector A. Then negative vector B dot negative vector B is equal to what? Positive vector B dot vector B. Okay? So if that, so from that, so on the left hand side, this is equal to 49. So from there, we may see the first property. Okay, so we may see the first property. So if you may see the first property, we know that. Okay, so we go into the second step. We call the first property. We say if you have vector A with vector A, this is equal to what? Is equal to magnitude of vector A squared. magnitude of vector A what? Square. So magnitude of vector A square. So for that case, A dot A is equal to magnitude of vector A square minus A dot B, then minus what? Then minus B dot A. B dot what? Dot A. Then plus what? Plus B, so plus what? Magnitude of vector B square is equal to what? 49. Not 47, 49. Okay. So if this is the case, this is the same. Remember that. Also we say, but according to commutative property, where the commutative property, this one. So it means that, say, A dot B is equal to B dot A. For that case, the equation will be what? And magnitude vector A square minus what? Minus A dot B minus what? A dot B plus what? Magnitude of vector B square is equal to 49. Okay, so here you have what? Magnitude of vector A minus what? Minus 2. Then you have, because this is the same dot product or same vector or same scalar quantity. So vector A dot B plus what? Magnitude of vector B square is equal to 49. So at least now we have something. So from this expression, so suppose that this is equation 1. So we know the magnitude of A, we know the magnitude of B. We have been given. Magnitude of A is B, and magnitude of vector B it's A. So what are we lacking? So the piece of information that we are lacking is A dot B. Okay? So we go into the next step, which is the third step. Make what? Make A dot B the subject. The subject of 40 of equation 1. So on this side we have magnitude of vector A minus 2 vector A dot B plus what? Magnitude of vector B is equal to 49. So to make this the subject, we have to subtract this magnitude of vector A square minus magnitude of vector B square. Okay, so you have to subtract this on both sides, and also what? Plus what? Minus B square. So on left hand side remaining is negative 2. Then you have A with B is equal to what? 49 minus magnitude of vector A minus magnitude of vector B square. Magnitude of vector A square minus magnitude of vector B square. So you want to make this the subject. So you have to divide by negative 2, and this one divide by negative 2. So we have A dot B. This is equal to what? 49 minus magnitude of vector A minus magnitude of vector B square. Magnitude of vector A square, magnitude of vector B square. So over negative 2. Okay? So this is equation 2. I believe that you're enjoying the beauty of vector. I want to tell you, basic engineering mathematics for ordinary diploma is beautiful. It's a very beautiful subject, more than you think. Okay, so if that the case, you say that here it's the first step. The first step, we say that substitute what? Substitute the magnitude of vector A and magnitude of vector B in what? In equation 2 above. Okay? So equation 2, we are looking at vector A dot vector B. So this is equal to what? 49 minus what? Magnitude of vector A, which is equal to what? Vector A is 3 square. Magnitude of vector B, we are given is equal to 8 square. Over negative 2. So here vector A with vector B. This is equal to what? 9 minus 9 minus 64 over negative 2. So we have what? Vector A to vector B. So you just subtract 49. Take your scientific calculator. If you have lost yours, you can order one in our library. 49 minus 9 is 40 minus 64. It is negative 24 over 2. It's C over negative 2. So it is negative 24 over negative 2. It's 12. So if I know the components of vector A and I know the components of vector B, then if I dot them, the answer is equal to 12, which is the scalar quantity. Okay? But remember, the question asks you to find the angle between vector A and vector B. The question is not to find A dot B, or not to find dot product between the two vectors. So this is still intermediate response. Tell your neighbor that that is intermediate response. Do you understand what am I teaching you? If you have any question, or you don't understand, or you have maybe some challenges, please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comment section below there. Okay, so you have A dot what? A dot B. So we go into the first step. How can you find the angle? Wonderful. We have to recall the formula of dot product of 40 of two vectors. Okay? So the formula states that we have vector A dot vector B. This is equal to magnitude of vector A and magnitude of vector B, then cosine of angle theta. So if you do remember that, we can make it. We can make theta the subject. So we have magnitude of vector A and magnitude of vector B cos. We divide it to both sides. Magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, then cos. This one and this one cancel. There remains an angle. So here we have 1 over cos. We have vector A dot vector B divided by magnitude of vector A times magnitude of vector B. This is equal to theta. So in other words, this theta is equal to cos inverse. Cos inverse means 1 over cos. So vector A dot vector B, then magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B. Okay? Okay, so I still have the question. So the angle which you have been asked to find, we can find it by using this formula. Cosine of vector A dot vector B over magnitude of vector A is magnitude of vector B. Do we know A dot B? Yes, we have found it. That is equation 5. So A dot B it's 12. So A to B is 12 over magnitude of vector A. Magnitude of vector A, it is 3 times. Magnitude of vector B, it is 8. Okay? So simply, this is equal to what? Cos inverse of what? Of 12 over 24. So find the cos inverse of 0.5 or half. This is equal to what? It's a special angle. Hopefully it is 60. Yeah. So this is equal to 60 degrees. So therefore, the angle between, you see how questions are challenging, the angle between two vectors, vector A and vector B, is 60 degrees. That's the answer of that question. Okay? Did you understand it? So keep that concept in order for you to solve other conceptual questions. You can pause the video. Let me just leave the space. You can pause the video and copy the notes. Okay? Thank you for your faithfulness. So then right now, before I teach you another example, let me teach you a very important concept that we call the perpendicular. So one of the properties of dot product, that whenever we dot two vectors which are perpendicular, then we have a common property. So ladies and gentlemen, let me teach you about perpendicular vector. Later on, I'll teach you about parallel vector, perpendicular vectors. Perpendicular vectors. So let me start with this sentence. A vector can be perpendicular. Can be perpendicular to another vector. A vector can be perpendicular to another vector. What does it mean? The angle between two vectors will be 90 degrees. That's the point. How to remember. So we say when two vectors are perpendicular, then the angle between them is 90 degrees. When two vectors are perpendicular, then the angle between them is 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees. That's the concept that you have to remember. So when two vectors are perpendicular, the angle between them is 90. So the angle is what is 90. So when two vectors are perpendicular, the angle between them is 90 decrease. Excuse me. So if the two perpendicular vectors are dotted, then the year dot product is 0. So you say A dot B. This is from, recall, A dot B is equal to magnitude of vector A times magnitude of vector B cosine of angle theta. Vector A dot vector B. This is equal to magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B, cosine of what? Of 90. So vector A dot vector B, this is equal to 0. Why? Because cos of 90, it's 0. So this is very important property of perpendicular vector. If two vectors are perpendicular, then the here dot product is 0. Then vector A if vector A is perpendicular to vector B, then we say vector A dot vector B is equal to 0. Very important property of vectors, very important formula. So, do you have any question about perpendicular vector? Please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comment section below. Example 12. And this will test your understanding of perpendicular vector. Oh, the understanding, okay, yeah, the understanding of perpendicular vector, because many students they used to quit away from it. Example 12. Write down condition for A is equal to X 1I plus Y1J plus Z1K. Z1A. Write down condition for vector A, which has 3 components. Write down the condition for vector A, conductance, and the vector B, So write down condition for vector A and vector B to be perpendicular. Write down condition for vector that ones and that ones to be perpendicular. Then Roman B, prove that P is equal to 2I 3J plus 4K is perpendicular to Q is equal to 5I plus 2J minus 4K. Prove that that vector and that ones are perpendicular. So we have example 12, which has Roman A and Roman B. Write down condition for vector A, which is x1i plus y1j plus z1k, and vector B, which is x2i plus y2j plus z2k to be perpendicular. Then B, prove that vector P, which is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k, is perpendicular to vector Q, which is 5i plus 2j plus 4k. Solution. So how can you write a condition? So for Roman A, the first step, remind or remember the concept. Recall what we told you. If two vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product is 0. So this is equation 1. So to write a condition, the second step, find vector A dot vector B. Okay? Find vector A dot vector B. So find vector A dot vector B. So you say that this is what? x1i, x2j, x3k dot B. B is x2i this is y,
y1, this is y1, this is z1. So we don't use components of vector b, which is x2i plus y2j plus the 2k. So remember the condition that, so this is equation what? Equation 2. So the third step, let us take equation 1, what is equation 2? What's equation 1? Equation 1, we say that a dot b, because the perpendicular vector is equal to 0, then is equal to what? x1 dot x1, x1, x2. Then plus what? y1, y2, plus z1, z2. So simply means the condition for vector A and vector B to be perpendicular. To be perpendicular is x1 times x2 plus y1 times y2 plus z1 times z2. So this basic operation, we say that so this one means you use the condition, this one should be equal to 0. Hence proved. Okay. So the condition for A and B to be perpendicular is x1, x2 plus y1, y2 plus z1, z2 should be equal to 0. So now, if that the case that we been asked that what, so hence we are not showing. They are not just right. So can you try for man B? Prove that the P is perpendicular to that. Pause the video for a minute or for 2 minutes or for 3 minutes. Try to solve that question yourself. Then come back to check the right solution. Try it. So pause the video now. Try it. Okay, so I believe that you have been trying to solve example 12 from an B to prove that P is equal to 2i plus 3j plus 4k is perpendicular to Q, which is equal to 5i plus 2j minus 4k. Okay? So let us do correction. So solution of example 12b. Example 12b. So to prove that if these are perpendicular, we say first step, you have to recall the condition for perpendicular vector. Recall condition for perpendicular vectors. So you say that if two vectors are perpendicular to each other, then A dot B is equal to 0. A A dot B is equal to what? Is equal to 0. A dot B is equal to 0. Huh? So for this case, thus vector P with vector Q, if these vectors are perpendicular, it's straight to have 0. So let us see. So this is Cartesian formula of what? Of finding dot product 2i plus what? Plus 3j plus 4k. Then let us dot with 5i plus what? Plus 2j minus 4k. So vector P dot vector Q, 2i dot 5i, that makes 10. 3j dot 2j, that makes 6. Then 4k dot negative 4k, that will make it negative 16. So negative is positive is negative. So 10 plus 6 is 16 minus 16. So P dot Q is equal to 0. So hence what? Hence proved. Okay? So check your solution. Did you manage to get it? Congratulations. Did you miss it somewhere? Don't worry. Try again and over and over and over. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a time for me to give you the homework. This is homework code 6. And example what? Example 13. Make sure that you do this homework yourself and try your level best to understand it. We have been given 3 vectors. The first one, this is vector A, it is 3i plus 2j minus k. Then we have B. We have 6i minus 7j minus 2k. Then I have C. C it is I plus 2 plus 2 lambda j plus 11k. Find lambda, find the value of lambda, find the value of lambda, so that 2a is orthogonal to C. So that 2a is orthogonal orthogonal. Orthogonal means perpendicular. So this is orthogonal to vector C. It's not a difficult question, it's very simple. Just understand you'll be given three vectors. Vector A has components of 3, 2, -1. Vector B has components of 6, -7, -2. Vector C has components of 1, 2, 2 lambda, and 11. Okay. So the question asks you to find the value of lambda so that 2A is orthogonal to C. And the question on the spot. My dear students, at that moment, this is the end of lecture 6, which I've been teaching about the properties of dot or properties of dot product. Okay, and then you find that by that moment we're dealing with something else. Okay, so my dear students, it's the end of lecture 6. Thank God who have been with me, who have created me in his own image, who have built a gift of teaching me, a gift of mathematics, a gift of engineering. I give him all the glory and praise for everything that has been done here. So thank you very much for joining me. I invite you in the next lecture, which will be lecture 7, where I will teach you about projections or finding components of the vectors. So we have scalar projection and we have vector projection. So don't miss the next lecture because we are about to reach that point. So ladies and gentlemen, as I say that, keep enjoying the beauty of basic engineering mathematics and the beauty of basic mathematics for the Form 2. Okay, no, excuse me. So thank you very much for joining me in this lecture 60. Thank you for taking advantage of learning these contents. I invite you once again to join me in the lecture 7. And remember to subscribe onto our official YouTube channel for you to receive notification once we add a new video. So may God bless you. This is the love of mathematics. I'm a love of mathematics, and I enjoy to learn it day after day. So may God bless you until we meet in the next session, and be blessed. Remember to visit in case you feel from your heart that you want to offer God your free incense giving. You may send your free incense giving through that telephone number 0759745331. Registered name is Olenjolai TAYAI. So thank you for your appreciation. Thank you for your cooperation. So keep enjoying the beauty of what? The beauty of basic engineering mathematics, and keep also practicing different aspects. Alright? So that's the point that I wanted to make. So make sure that you access our different contents and library. So for you to master or to go far from the point where I am. Because always a student should be exceeding. So your free license fee will be used to pay for the running cost for this program, because you have a vision of recording so many high definition videos of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So keep enjoying, keep praying for me, I'll be praying for you. May God bless you. It's a time to wake up in order to change. Okay? So stay tuned, enjoying Old Peter.
Hekima,